everyone. Hearty welcome to the online lecture series on readings on democracy and secularism offered by the Postgraduate Department of English, Pioneer College. Today, we are going to discuss the second lesson of the text titled The Humiliation of a Brown Child in a European School by Kamala Das. I am sure all of you are familiar with the life and works of Kamala Das. So I am not going to give you a detailed introduction to the author. Coming to the present lesson, The Humiliation of a Brown Child in a European School. The present lesson is an excerpt which has been taken from her autobiography titled My Story. This is her autobiography. This was originally published in Malayalam with the title Endagatha. This autobiography portrays the agony of self-expression of a woman who is being subjected to the harsh realities of patriarchy and colonialism. Undoubtedly, we can say that this autobiography is one of the most inspiring and engaging autobiographies. Now let's begin our discussion on the humiliation of a brown child in a European school, the second lesson. As the title indicates, in this excerpt, Kamala Das is talking about one of the burning issues of the world, that is, racial discrimination. Here, Kamala Das is talking about her childhood days. She was growing up as a child in Calcutta. There, she used to live with her family or parents. And she begins the excerpt by stating that it was quite common among the Britishers to have friends among the Indians. It was quite common for the Britishers to have friends among the Indians during that time. And this happened only in the well-to-do families or the aristocratic families. And here Kamala Das remembers one such a family friend of her, that is Mr. Rose. Mr. Rose is the superior officer of Kamala's father. She describes Mr. Rose as a balding, red-faced gentleman, which means Mr. Rose is a middle-aged person with rosy skin. Mr. Rose used to address Kamala's father as my good friend Nayar, and he occasionally visits her house. And the children are made very happy when Mr. Rose comes to their house, because for them it was a matter of pride. Because a British person who is coming to or who is visiting their home. So for the children, it was a matter of great excitement and pride. Next, she is talking about the cook. The family used to have a cook during that time. And when the vacation starts, Kamala Das, along with her family members, would go to Kerala. There, she would visit her grandmother's house. And she would stay with the grandmother, which is in Malabar. Her grandmother's house is in Malabar, and the entire family would stay with the grandmother. And once the vacation is over, they would come back. During this time, when the family is away, the cook is sent to the house of Mr. Rose. There, the cook is taught the basics of European cookery by the wife of Mr. Rose, that is Mrs. Rose. Mrs. Rose used to teach the cook the basics of European cookery, and that is how the cook learned to prepare the European dishes, and he is very familiar with the European cuisines. And it happened on each and every vacation. So as time goes, the cook becomes a great cook who has a good fund of knowledge about the European dishes, and he starts preparing these European dishes in a very tasty way. And once the family is back, the cook will be sent back to Kamala's house. Gradually, the cook starts experimenting with the European dishes. So instead of serving rice and curry for the family of Kamala Das, the cook begins to serve the European dishes like the cutlets, soups, etc. So ultimately, the family had to change their eating habits. And the cook knew very well that Kamalada's mother's eating habits cannot be changed. So he used to serve Kamala's mother with the plain rice and lentils. But he served the European dishes to Kamala's father and Kamala and her brother. And the children, that is Kamala and her brother, were not very familiar with the European table manners and also the European ways of eating. So what happened is that when they are served with this food, with these European dishes, they would start eating up everything using their hands, just like every Indian would do. And while eating, they used to lick their hands, lick their fingers. And they would also eat everything which was being served on their plates. And the cook would be standing near to them and he would be frowning at Kamala and her brother when they were eating like this. And Kamala, in a half humorous way, she says that the cook might have thought of them as savages or uncultured people because of their eating habits. Next, she is talking about the utter loneliness that she faced. As I told you before, Kamalada's father, he was working in an automobile firm and he was very busy with his work all the time. And he was employed in an automobile firm where he used to sell the Porsche cars or the luxurious cars like Rolls Royces, Humbers and Bentleys to the Indian princes and their relatives. And he was a workaholic person and was very busy with his work all the time. And next she is talking about her mother. As you all know, Kamala's mother is again a very famous Malayalam poetess, Balamani Amma. And his mother is described as a vague and indifferent woman because she spent most of her time composing poems. She didn't maintain a very friendly relationship with these children. In fact, the children were neglected by both the parents. And Kamala thus, along with her brother, faced this loneliness and neglect from her early years itself. And during that time, they didn't have any helper or maid at their homes. And it was the cook who used to take the children to the school. And once the class is over, the cook would go to the school and take the children back to home. And this cook is also not an affectionate person. He didn't know how to express love and how to express this affection to the children. So finally, these two children, they were growing up as the neglected ones. And it was the time when these children wished for a lot more pampering, wished for care and attention from the people around them, but unfortunately they didn't get any. And in fact, they were neglected by their own parents. And as a result of that, they developed a strong relationship, a strong bond of love and intimacy between the two children, that is between Kamala Das and her brother. And in a funny way, she says that this was a sort of relationship, a strong relationship of love, the kind a leper may feel for his mate who pushed him on a handcart when they went on their begging rounds. And their friendship or their relationship was of this sort. That is, when two extremely helpless people meet, they may help each other. They may extend mutual help and support. And their relationship was like that. In the next part, Kamala Das is describing about her experiences as a student in a European school. At first, she talks about her brother's experiences when he was, or how he was humiliated by a group of white boys. She describes her brother as a plump and dark boy. This brother was a little bit stout and he was also dark complexioned. And he was having big, bright, circular eyes. And he was the cleverest student in his class. But the white boys, they didn't appreciate him for that. They never praised him for that. Rather, they used to torture him both physically and mentally. Here, Kamala Das remembers one such an incident. One day, Kamala Das sees her brother who was wearing a shirt and the front part of the shirt was covered with blood. And she comes to know that these white boys pushed the pencil, the sharp-edged pencil into his nostril. And that is why he was bleeding like this. And when Kamala Das saw this, she couldn't tolerate the sight. She was made very angry and she sees him in a very helpless condition because this brother was quite shocked by the very attitude of his friends or his classmates. And he was helpless, he couldn't do anything about it, but he was trying hard not to cry. And when Kamala Das saw this, she was trying to safeguard her brother. And she is also witnessing the bullying that her brother had to face. She talks about a white boy named William, and he was trying to insult Kamala's brother by saying that, "Blackie, your blood is red." That is, William the bully was insulting Kamala's brother by saying that, "Blackie, your blood is red." So this is such an inhuman remark. William the bully is making fun of Kamala's brother because of his dark complexion. And William says that even though you're black, your blood is red. And Kamala Das felt it as an extreme sort of insult. On the one side, she was already sad because her brother was in such a helpless situation and he was physically tortured and blood was coming out of his nose and the front part of his shirt was completely covered with blood. And on the other side, this racist comment. And she immediately rushed to William the bully and she started scratching his face because she couldn't control her anger and she was very furious. So she was attacking William the bully. But what happened is that there was a majority of these white students, or white boys, and also the Anglo-Indians. And she says that these Anglo-Indian children were with the white children. They joined the side of the white children. And she says that these Anglo-Indian children were fighting the white man's rights. So that is why before she could do anything, she was stopped by the white children and also this Anglo-Indian children. Even though this was such a humiliating experience, the children couldn't reveal it to their parents. As I told you before, the children were suffering from extreme loneliness or utter loneliness and they didn't have the parental concern or the affection. So that is why they didn't tell it to their parents. But they realized that it is all because of their skin color. And in the next part, she is talking about the attitude of the school authorities. She was studying in a British school where the majority of the children were from the aristocratic white families, and these Indian children or this dark complexion children were a minority, and that is why even the school authorities showed this favoritism. They always preferred the white children. Here she says that their school had a principal, a lady principal, whom the children used to call as Madam. And she also remembers how their school used to get some distinguished guests. Who are the distinguished guests? Who are the distinguished visitors to their school? Sometimes it can be a governor's wife, or sometimes an admiral, and sometimes the people who are having direct connection with this royal families, the people who are associated with this royal families or the Buckingham Palace. They used to visit, they used to come to their school. And she also wonders how the lady principal used to bring such distinguished guests to their school, because it was not a very big school, and she wonders how this happens, because occasionally they used to get such visitors. And she says that this can be the reason. What's the reason? We sang the national anthem, Rule Britannia, louder than the others. So during their school days, they were directed to sing, the children were directed to sing the national anthem of the Britishers, that is Rule Britannia. And the children, they used to sing the song loudly. And she remembers that there was a photograph in this hall, on which the photo of King George VI and the family. It was a photograph of King George VI and his family. That is a royal family. And she also remembers how this lady principal used to sit near the grand piano on which the photograph was kept. And the children used to, whenever they sang the song Rule Britannia, they sing this line in a very loud manner. That is, when they reach this line, Britons never, never shall be slaves. They used to increase the volume of the song. And they were singing it so loudly that even the postman would slow down his walk to listen to the song. And Kamala Das feels that when they reached this line, King George VI would wink at them from the photograph, as if he knew that the British were singing in India their swan song. That is how she remembers the whole experience. Next, she is talking about Shirley Temple. Who is Shirley Temple? Shirley Temple was a very popular child actress of that time, and she was actually crazed for all the children. And this Shirley Temple is representing the white standards of beauty. She was a very cute girl child with blonde hair, fair skin, rosy cheeks and all. That is, she is an epitome of the white standards of beauty. And the girl children always used to imitate Shirley Temple. And there was a photo of this Shirley Temple in this room. And that was kept near the piano, along with the photograph of the royal family. And she remembers her classmate who has the same name, that is Shirley. Like the original Shirley Temple, her classmate was also a good-looking girl, like a girl with pink cheeks and yellow ringlets. And when the distinguished guests come to their school, it was this Shirley who was given the chance to receive the guests by presenting them with a bouquet. And Kamala Das knows that it is because of her good looks, or it is because of her skin color. Every time Shirley is given the chance, not the other brown-skinned children. And one day, the governor's wife visited their school. As usual, Shirley is given the chance to receive this distinguished guest. And there she was given a chance to recite a poem. This poem was originally composed by Kamala Das. Even then, she was not given a chance to recite the poem before the distinguished guests. And once Shirley was reciting the song, the governor's wife was very much attracted towards this song or this poem. She was quite impressed with the song, and she inquired who wrote this poem. Then this lady principal said that it was written by Shirley herself. Here we see the attitude of the lady principal, who is also white, who always favored the white children. And she was not giving the credit to Kamala Das. Actually, all the words of appreciation should go to Kamala Das because she was the original composer of the poem. But here, she is forgotten by everyone. And this lady principal also says that this Shirley is a good student. She is a student who is having beauty with brains. And this governor's wife gave her a special kiss. And she is saying that what a bright little moped. Governor's wife said that this Shirley is a bright little moped. That is again a word of appreciation. Towards the end of this lesson, we see how the school authorities used to treat the dark-skinned students. Whenever these distinguished guests come to their school, the brown-skinned children are hidden somewhere. The brown-skinned children are not allowed to go in front of this guests. They will be either hidden in some rooms or some corners or near the lavatories, etc. And she remembers that there were 6 students like this. 6 brown-skinned students were there in her school. Thus she remembers an Anglo-Indian boy whose name is Louis. She is presenting him as someone who is confused as which side to take. That is, whether to take the white side or whether to join the white boys or whether to join the side of this dark-skinned students. And Kamala knows that the white children really hated Louis. But this poor Louis was so confused and he didn't know where to or which side to join. But he tried his best to put the white children in good humor, like playing the role of a clown. And he would be producing the sounds, like he would be different sounds, like he would be barking like a dog and braying like an ass. So he always used to please this white children, even though the white children really hated him. And that is where this excerpt ends. So here, as I told you before, Kamala Das is talking about racism or racial discrimination. As we all know, this racism or racial discrimination is still very prevalent in our societies. The recent incidents that happened in the United States of America justify or vindicate that. Even though we have reached this 21st century, we are still not out of it. So here I am reminded of one of the world famous speeches by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I think you all are familiar with his speech, I Have a Dream, the great speech, in which he expresses his wish or his dream, where he visualizes or he wants to see a world which is filled with the people and which is where the people are treated equally. And he also says that he wants to see a world where the people would not be judged by the color of their skin but by the content of their character. And we have to, or we can at least hope that such a day would come very soon. With that, I am winding up today's discussion. I hope it is clear to you. Thank you.
Now let's move on to the question answer session. Question number 1. What was Kamala's opinion about the British attitude to Indians? Answer. Kamala says that the Britishers were dominant as the rulers of India. Even then, they would treat Indians as equals in good societies. According to her, it was normal for a British family to have 1 or 2 close friends among the Indians with whom they were on visiting terms. Question number 2. Why did Rose visit thrill the children? Answer. The children were thrilled because Rose was a British man and they thought the Britishers were superior to them. Playing the role of a host to a British person was a matter of pride for them. Question number 3. What happened to the cook who used to cook Indian food? Answer. The cook learned the basics of European cookery from Mrs. Rose and began to behave like a sophisticated person. Instead of the rice and curry, he served European dishes like soups, cutlets, and stew. Kamla's family had to alter the eating habits to suit his sophistication. Moreover, the cook considered the children as savages because of the eating habits. Question number 4. How did Kamla and her brother become savages to the cook? Answer. Kamla and her brother were not aware of the European table manners and didn't use fork and knife while eating. They ate the Western meals with their hands, licking their brown fingers and enjoying all that was served on their plates. This was disgusting for the sophisticated cook and he thought of the children as savages. Question number 5. What was the reason for the strong relationship of love between the siblings? Answer. The children were neglected by their busy parents. There was none who cared for them. Hence, there developed a strong relationship of love between them. Question number 6. What did Louis do to put the white boys in good humor? Answer. Louis did clowning to put the white boys in good humor. He tried to please them by barking like a dog and braying like an ass. Question number 7. Why did the white boys hurt the writer's brother? Answer. The white boys hurt Kamla's brother because he was plump and dark complexioned. Even though he was the cleverest in his class, he was ill-treated by the white boys because of his skin color. Question number 8. What did Kamla do to William? Answer. William was a white boy who used to bully the Indian students. He humiliated Kamla's brother by passing a racist comment which infuriated Kamla. She rushed to William and scratched his face. Question number 9. What, according to Kamla, helped her school get distinguished visitors occasionally? Answer. The school had a lady principal who managed to lure distinguished visitors to the school. Perhaps it may be because of the fact that the children sang the British national anthem Rule Britannia louder than the others. Question number 10. How does Kamla describe her mother? Answer. Kamla describes her mother as vague and indifferent who spent her time composing poems in Malayalam. Question number 11. Who was Shirley Temple? Answer. Shirley Temple was an American actress, singer, dancer, businesswoman, and diplomat. She was the most popular child artist from 1935 to 1938. She is often regarded as an epitome of white standards of beauty with fair skin, golden hair, and rosy lips. Question number 12. What was the predicament of Louis? Answer. Louis was a black Anglo-Indian student who could not make up his mind which side to take. He was hated by the white children, but he used to put them in good humor by barking like a dog and braying like an ass. Question number 13. What is xenophobia? Answer. Xenophobia is the fear and hatred of strangers or foreigners or of anything that is strange or foreign. Thank you.